Okay, I guess we're live in YouTube already. So welcome to all the traders in YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can always join us direct through the link that I post on Facebook. It's sometime on Twitter, but it's always on Facebook, so you can get it. It's on Twitter. You might not find it there that much. It's also on LinkedIn. So remember to help share the link as well. We'll start in a minute. Let's just get everybody ready. All extra charts is at the end of the webinar. We'll probably, if we have time, we'll look at them. If we don't, we'll have to go with the basics once we do. Ivan. So I'll try. I'll give it a try if you stick around long enough. Okay, let's go. We have a minute and we'll start. So good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this weekly outlook. I am glad to see so many of you here, and I hope you can help share the link. If you like what we do, please help share the link so more traders will get access to it. We still get a regular 7,000 views on YouTube, and I think we can do better than that, right? So let's make next week's 14,000 views. I don't think that's a problem, right? Basically, if every one of you know another trader who is not in here, and that's pretty easy to do, I'm pretty sure every one of us knows a trader who's not, who doesn't know that I exist or know that you get free weekly outlooks. Just give him the link. He'll probably check it out. And if he likes it, he'll share it to his friend. Eventually, we'll have enough people who have the access to this, because even though they may not find that everything that I do in the weekly outlook is interesting, we do some small, very educated thing that helps you, right? So every now and then you'll see me stop in the middle and give you a little educational part of it that will work. Maybe this time I'll start it in the very start of the webinar, right? So let me go with the very start and give you the educational part. So if this is the only thing they look, this will help them, right? So basically, where did I get the thought of doing this from? Is because during the weekend, I was, just looking through YouTube and looking through some of the things and get information about traders. And I've looked at a few videos also, other people do, just couple minutes getting ideas what they do, what people do out there. And I figure out that they're like, if not tens of thousands, maybe if not just tens of thousands, maybe even much more, hundreds of thousands of trainers out there, people who train, they sell strategy, they sell something, there's so many things selling out there in this thing that I can figure out why a new trader coming in gets very confused, right? And the reality is, most of those things will never make him successful. So the argument most traders who sell strategies, who sell some kind of a support and resistance, a pin bar thing will make, is that I don't know what anybody else is saying. Look, I took a couple trades on this thing and I made money. And they have a point. Literally, they have a point. I even watched one guy doing a webinar where he said, trading is like flipping a coin, right? You win or you lose, right? There's a 50% chance of any trade you win or lose. And it sounds like it makes a lot of sense, right? That's right. Hey, there's a 50% chance it's going to either go up or down. So you might win or you might lose. So why not just use good money management and then you make money? But here's the thing. A lot of traders tried that. It didn't work. In a short term, yes. You can make money just not knowing what you do in the charts, right? Just buying or selling randomly. And you might get lucky, you make money, you might even double your account in that, but then you will lose everything again. Because as a long-term strategy, that cannot work. Everything or anything can work for a short time. Right? That's reality. Anything or everything can work for a short term, or might work for a short term, to choose the better word. But as a strategy for trading, becoming a professional trader, becoming somebody who's going to do this all the time, that will not work for you. Guessing or trading out of ignorance or trading out of just seeing one thing in the chart will not work. There are so many things you can see in the chart and they will all make sense at some point, right? Like if you just draw a random line in the chart and you said, when it hits this line, I will sell, there is a 50% chance you will make money. It hits the line, you sell and it goes down, and great, you made money. But that's accidental, right? That's not a strategy you can use to trade, right? It's not, you can look up in the air and say, hey, I think it's going to rain today, and it might rain. You don't become a specialist in weather, right? You don't suddenly become the greatest weather person in the world, right? You don't start making weather forecasts based on that. You just made a good guess because you saw some dark clouds or something, right? That does not make you a specialist in that area suddenly, right? And that is what is happening in trading, is that people can take things that, that randomly make some money or make them a winning trader. And especially I see on Facebook, it is common now, people putting out these little accounts where they made 10 pips, they made 3 pips here, they made $1 here, or they made $2. And I'm like, why would anybody be interested in that making you a professional trader? And today's lesson is basically on that. If you want to be a professional trader, you have to know that you want to make money in this. You want to make money that can actually compensate for your work. That will make you a professional trader. If you're just trading a $500 account or a $1,000 account, you're more likely a recreational trader. You're trading for recreation because you're not going to make money. Money-wise, you're not going to make. You could win trades, lose trades, but you're a recreational trader. It's like going to the casino and trying to have fun. In winning trade or losing trade, it's not going to make you a professional that you can make enough money to survive, to live with. It's not going to happen. Very often, you're going to lose the account eventually. So if you follow that thing, you're just a recreational trader. Just you might win or lose, but you're a recreational trader, because that is not going to make you money. I want you just to go down to traders who are new, who have very small amount of capital and thinking that they're going to make it. That it's not going to happen. Now it's a different story if you're taking any course, for the purpose of gaining the knowledge so that you can move on to do something with that. That's a different story. Because I've had a trader who came to me and said, look, I have enough money to pay you for the classes, but I don't have capital to trade, but I'm going to be applying. He said, I have a degree and I'm going to be applying to a company to be a trader, be one of their traders, right? And I was like, well, why do you want my classes? Because you have a degree. I think he has a degree in finance or something. He said, no, I need that knowledge you have. So he paid me, he took it. And the guy actually, after a couple months, sent me a note and said, hey, yes, thank you very much. I'm working for this company now. And I was like, wow, that's fast. He said, yeah, I applied. I just told him. And he said, I told him about you and I told him about the class I took from you. So if they do call you, just, you can make recommendations. I said, sure. They never called me, but, if they had done, I would probably say, yes, he did do it, and all that. So, and he actually came back and did a webinar for my traders, showing them what he's actually doing, not what he's doing in the company, like basically what strategy he's using there in that company. So that's a different story. He knows he doesn't have capital, but he's just searching for knowledge. But if you're just thinking that you have $1,000 and you're going to become a big trader, you're going to make millions, the reality is, you are going to lose it. There is a high 90% chance you're going to lose that. So I'm trying to get that message out, because there's the scamming going on with these guys who are trying to get you, especially people who have these small accounts. Brokers love you to open small accounts because they counted their money. They count it as a donation when you open a small account. They already say, you've donated some money to me. Thank you. I'll get everything that you donated. Because the risk for them is limited, they will take all your trade until you blow your account up. And very likely they get it. Right? That's where the stat came from, that 90% of traders lose their money anyway. So if you're going to treat it as a business, treat it as a business. Right? If you want recreational trading, hey, nothing is wrong with that. I have no problem with you, but that is why I have a limit to where people can join my course, because we don't want recreational traders. My time has value and your time has value. So I don't think you want, if you want to be a recreational trader, that's okay. But I don't want to waste my time training recreational traders, right? I want to actually, take people who are serious of making this a profession, because we invest a lot of time into these traders. Traders stay with me for years and before they become successful, at least a year or so, and then they become. And within that year, I am with them every single day. Minimum 1 hour for the London webinar that I do, sometimes 2-3 hours, because I go into training room 2-3 hours a day when there are news events to do trading with them. So I'm investing my time in these people much more than they can pay for. So I don't just want to waste that time on recreational traders, because, you know, it's not worth it. So just to make sure that message is out there, make sure you get it. Don't let people scam you if you're going to let them tell you the truth. And I know the truth. Sometimes I get attacked for saying the truth. People are like, why are you saying that? You know, especially people who sell signals and all of those stuff. Why are you saying that people can trade $100 and make it a 10,000? I'm like, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 people out of 100,000 who tried it, right? The rest of them just lose their account, right? So these are just the reality. You have to put it out there to people, because there are a lot of scammers out there and they're not telling you about that. Hey, yeah, you have $500, pay me $200 for this strategy and I'll teach you the strategy and make you successful. You give him $200, he give you some crazy stupid thing by when you see this pin bar or when you see this seller buy, and that's it. And you do that and you lose the next $300. That's it. That's the end of your career. Especially if that $500 was a monthly salary for your 2-month salary, then, you know, you just lost 2 months salary for no reason. Absolutely no reason. You just lost it, because you're not going to, you know, that dream you had that you may as well buy lottery. That will give you 500 lotteries. Your chances of winning one of them is higher than becoming a successful trader. That's it. You have higher chance because you have 500 chances of winning, right? 500 chances of everyone being. And if you go trading, you may lose all of that in one single trade. So just know that. Let's go to our webinar now. I opened with this chart today because I think I've explained this to many people, and we've looked at the strategy. Remember, we said when this is going to go, I don't think the consolidation is over. So I'm expecting them to either not break the top or slightly break the top and then come back. Both of these are corrective structures in the making. So I think this one will be probably coming here. But as you notice, none of them came down straight. They didn't go up straight. So which means you're going to expect this to make some correction somewhere here and then come down. Maybe a more complex correction in here like this one had, and then come down. So if you're not in the sell, and most of my traders are in the sell already because we identified the sell very, very early. And if you're like us and you're in the sell, and we had a number of sells coming down here, right? If you're in the sell, you got to start moving your stops. Don't take off the trade, move your stops, because they're going to go down. Now, you shouldn't be selling here. Let me take that off. You shouldn't be selling here, because now selling becomes dangerous to you. When they move that much already, right? You need to wait for a correction. So if you're going to get a sell here, you need to wait for a correction like this or a correction like this. So I would say wait for them to do something like this, and then you can sell. Better yet for you, if they do something like this, then you sell, because this move would be much bigger, right? Like if you made this correction and then go. See that? So we're in a big daily correction. And then you will have a daily up move. Every time you get a daily correction, which means every time they start making these sideways moves like this. All right, 1 second, guys, let me just close this. Every time you start seeing this big sideways move they do here, like come here, go back up to the top and come back here, they're likely going to make one more up. So I think this would be a bigger correction. And if this turns out to be a bigger correction, we get one more upside like that. Right? So the question, would it actually be that big correction? I don't know. We can all wait and see. But for you, the purpose of looking at this week is to wait for a correction, then sell. Don't sell it as it's going here. It has already gone too far. So you need to wait for them to pull back, wait for them to pull back. Any pullback like this would be a good sell. Probably 2-3 days pull back, and then you get a sell. Dollar index, pretty much in a sideways move. And as it stands right now, I think I explained this last week, patterns like these have a number of options of how they could develop. At least 4 options. And none of those options are played out as yet. But I'm inclined to believing that they might go up more, because what you would do now is wait to see if they're going to break out of this structure that we have. What will give us that? Let them make a consolidation here. Any consolidation like this, and then you look for one more impulse up. Break this top, and then we will see whether they reverse from there, right? As it stands right now, they can reverse this back to the low here. Maybe even break out of this structure, right? Because we haven't broken this top, so downside is possible. Now, you don't know which side they're gonna go, and you don't need to know that. If you want to sell this, you have to wait for it to come down. You have to wait for them to make a flag like that. and only then you get a sell. If you want to buy it, you have to wait for it to consolidate, and then you buy. If either of those two doesn't happen, you stay out of the trade. You don't take a trade on that pair or whatever it is, right? In this case, dollar index, let's look at the euro. Same for the euro. Very similar structure. This structure has a number of ways they could develop. And one of them is they can come back here. They can stay within this for a while and then break out, depending on how we look at that structure. But like I said, this is not a triangular structure. If you see this as a triangular structure in any Elliott wave platform anywhere in the world, it is incorrect. It is wrong. It's not a triangle. It's looking like a triangular pattern, but it's not a triangle. And I can tell you for sure it is not a triangle because we have so many options of these patterns. We have seen these so many times that we know what they are. This is not an unknown pattern to us. What is unknown to us is which of the two ways it's going to develop. Now, I can reduce the 4 options to 2 options in this one. And one of those 2 options is going to develop an ABC that will be an ABC is a contracting flat and you go back here, or an ABC where the C wave has more than one wave inside for a longer one and then go back up. So either a contracting flat or a more complicated C wave. Which is going to be, we will see the same thing here. You'll have to wait for the setups before you trade. You cannot trade and should not trade in here. If you do that, you'll get lucky sometimes. Very small trade within here, yes, probably you could have taken, like the euro was a small short-term sell, very short-term sell, and I told my traders, if you sold it, take profit. There was a sell setup that we got here, and the break of this, that was a sell setup. Come to the low, take profit. As a matter of fact, as soon as it breaks this low, you start moving your stop to take profit because that's the point from where they can go back up. See? How do we know that? Well, because of the specific patterns we're looking for. If you know these patterns and you know how they will develop, then you know what to look for. It's not that difficult. It's actually not difficult. Seriously, it's not. But if you don't know what the patterns you're looking for, if you have no idea what patterns that this could develop into, then you have a problem because you don't know where it's going to go. And you didn't have a clue as to the amount of possibilities that could develop in the pattern. And then even if it moves in one of those sides, you would not know what that pattern is. That's the difference between what we do and what you do if you're looking at the same chart, is that we know we know the patterns, so we have a very good idea which one is going to develop and how that one will eventually react, how the market will behave if that pattern, if a certain specific pattern develops. Right now it's in development. As you would have seen in the pound, we knew which one is going to develop, break the top, come down. Aussie, remember last week when we were in here, I said you're going to expect this to go up some more. You should look for buys until they come to this here. Then at this point, they have to talk to you. This is where my traders got in the trade, right, for the sell. And this is where they would have got in on the buy if the buy had come, which is above this top. Right, if the buy had come, we would get in above that top. This could go up or it could come back one more down, depending on how you look at that pattern. You look at it as a 1, 2, 3, end the structure, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, end the structure, then go back up. It will go back up. Whether it's a 5 or a 3 wave within that corrective structure, it will go back up, right? So what we're going to expect this to do is come break this low. And very likely, we think this is going to turn to the upside. I don't think this is totally downside. It's rare because, then we would have to take this as the correction, which I'm not looking at fully as yet. So most times we look for this to come somewhere here and turn because that's what we see them do. So if you're going to be trading this, if you're not in the sell, right, you got to wait. You shouldn't get into the sell now. You got to wait until they pull back. Well, they're actually pulling back already, right? You can see that in let me just make it bigger. You can see that they're already pulling back, which means that I expect them to make more corrections. I don't think this is the up move because normally this as an impulse will have to break this low. So we would anticipate the break of this low before they go back up, right? So if you get a buy set up here, you'd have to be very careful. They could make a deep correction and then come back. They could just make a very small correction, drop, break the low, and then start reversing. So what would be your trade for next week? If you get a flag here, sell it. And let's hope that it keeps dropping next week and don't turn until the week after. So which means we can all get that move up if it turns next week. If it turns during the week, so after by the webinar comes up, I can show you what would be the buy setup on that one. New Zealand also going down. Well, this one we definitely expected to go because we were looking at this pattern. a 1 here, a 1 here, a 1, 2, 3 in the middle makes a flat, and we're looking for this to come here, finish that move, and go back up, right? So I think I explained this to you. It's a complicated one, and I'll show you a simple way. Remember, I showed you guys this pattern when you if you joined my webinars before, look at any of the educational webinars. I showed you a very simple way of understanding Elliott wave patterns. Not Elliott wave. Let me say wave pattern, because not necessarily Elliott wave, but it's something I've developed myself. But I've developed it out of the knowledge of Elliott wave, which means I've studied Elliott wave, I've studied Dow theory, and based on those, I've looked at some more waves, well, not theories, but people who explain waves in their way. And out of that, I've made my own thing, which a simple way of understanding it is an impulse, a correction, and another impulse. The complexity in that is understanding the correction. And sometimes you don't have to. If you look at this chart, for example, I'll put it in the weekly so that you can see what I'm saying. And I'll just show you a few little things in it that might be able to help you. Let me take everything off so I can show you that. That will help you to understand at least where you are on a chart and what direction it's going to go. But remember, even what I show you here is nothing compared to what you need to learn to really understand this stuff. What I'm showing you here is like not even a percent of what you should know, right? So that's the reason we have the 5 weeks training course for you, because you wouldn't learn very much from what I'm showing you here, but it will guide you. When you see an impulse and you see that correction, 90% you're going up, sometimes 95. So you had a correction in here, you drop. You had another correction there, you drop. Because those are corrections. You got a bigger correction in here, you go up. You got a smaller correction there, you go up. Where do you think this is going to go? Anybody make a wild guess? Come on. You know where it's going to go, right? You just have to look at that. Look at the whole chart and look at that and look at this piece in here, for example, and you're going up. Look at these pieces. Where do they go? Where do you think this is going to go? Right. Exactly. It's going to go down, right? It's going to go down very nicely. Don't miss that down move, right? Right, Mirko? Don't miss it. It's so easy that now you guys are looking and saying, hey, but that thing is so easy. Why is it, we don't even need to be in the webinar here now. This is so easy, right? You can see that up move coming. You look at the charts, one look at the charts, and all of you here are becoming pros now. Darn, let's get that up move going. Easy, right? Let's go back to the chart where you're going to be trading now, and let's go to the daily. Not so easy anymore because this is coming down really fast. And if you remember, I did promise that one day I'll give you something called bursting some of the myth of what's happening in Forex. One of the things you'll hear in Forex is that you should never catch a falling knife, which means when it's coming down here, you should not try to buy it or sell it because you don't know, right? And you're thinking, well, if I should not buy it or sell it, let it just do what it's doing because it's coming down, right? And another thing you would hear, which is wrong, because you got to buy it when it's coming down. Because if you don't buy when it's coming down, you're going to miss the whole move. And another one you hear is that let's sell the top and buy the low. And here's my question to you. Is this the low? What if it comes here? Is this the low? Okay, what if it comes here? Is that the low? Do any one of you know where that low is? You don't. You don't even have to answer. You don't. And no one knows. You don't have to know where the low is because you will never know where the low is. You have to know what pattern you're looking at there, how that pattern will behave, and what you need to see as a setup for the buy. When you do make the low, when it does make the low, what will be your buy setup? That's what you need to know. And once you get that, your trade is going to be good. You can take it all the way from the bottom. That's the difference. So just the talk of buy low, sell high, it's easy to say, but it's hard to do because it's just something that people say without thinking like, okay, so tell me where's the high and the low. I'll challenge anyone to do that. You can guess where the high and the low might be, but you cannot tell that for sure because you don't have any direct, proof of where which will stop. We don't know that. But we have seen this and we have a high probability chance that it's going to go back up. We actually forecast all those moves in it. So we know what it's doing. And so far, it's doing exactly what we expect it to do. So if it's going to continue to do what we expect it to do, somewhere at the bottom here, we'll be looking for buy setups. You still have sell setups, which means that this week, if you get a correction up, you can sell it. And you shouldn't sell it until you get the correction to the upside. Because then if you sell it without a correction to the upside, this is where your stop should be, and this is where your target is going to be. And that's not a good trade. But if they do correction to the upside and then start to break, your entry is going to be here, your stop is going to be here, and this is your target. That makes sense to trade. That is just giving you a very basic way of how to look at it. See? Not difficult stuff. Trading is not difficult if you have the knowledge, if you have the right knowledge. If you don't, well, it's all very crazy. So it's a really rock and roll world out there. So let's go. Next one, yen. Where would this be going and what should you be doing? Buy it, because it is going to go up, right? Like if you were with me for the last 3-4 weeks, that's exactly what I was telling you. The minute we break this low, start your buy setups. 1 attempt, 2 attempts, 3 attempts, and we are in the buy. And we're in profit, right? So can you be in the buy? I think you should get in the buy somewhere. I still think they're going to go up, so let's go into 1 hour. And the thing is, if you don't get in the buy now, it will be too late to get in. Because by the time you do realize that the buy is coming up, you will be way too late for it. So this is going up pretty slow. And we've seen that move where they start pretty slow and then the yen just takes off like a rocket. So you would get that slow climb. You can buy above this top. Buying above this top might be the risky one. Buying above this top was a good one. Buying above that top was a good one. Buying above this top was a good one. This one becomes a little risky because as you can see, they're starting to die out here, right? What that means, they can make a move up and you might be lucky if you get it, but they can make a very short move up here, go there, and then start to come back deep before they take off. See that? And that is the risk you're facing now buying above this top here. So I would say for those of you who are not in the trade, and I hope all of you are at least in the yen trade, anybody in here not in a yen trade, in a yen buy, dollar yen buy? Anybody in the room don't have a buy? Don't be shy, don't be shy. Just put a Y if you don't have a buy. Okay, I think a couple people. All of you should be, because if you're following me, that is what I've been saying all the time from here, that you should be buying, 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 and just leave the trade on. Still looking for a 60 minutes correction. This thing had like a hell of a lot of 60 minutes corrections for buys, right? So all of these are buys opportunity. These are buy opportunity. So here's what you should do. Let this break out. Don't jump in this last one here now because of that risk. Let it break out. And if they break very sharp, they will pull back. And then you buy the break of that pullback, because potentially this might stop here and come back deep before they go. They will still go, but potentially it's going to come back deep. So watch it on the 4 hour. I will be trading this up to this stop, and then we will see how it gets to this stop. And then we will make the decision whether there is one more down on it, right? We'll make a decision whether this can stop here and go one more down, or it's going to make a bigger consolidation in here. If we see the bigger consolidation, that's just easy. It's going to make your life easy. We'll know what to do. But if it goes very sharp, we will keep it until it breaks the stop, because we think it's likely going to go break that top, right? Swiss, we told you they're going to climb back to the top there, right? So if you're following any one of my webinars, you know they're going to climb back to the top there. So you should be buying. And now if you're in the trade, you see that sudden takeoff, right? This was going very slow too. Very slow, and then they take off, right? So if you were following me, that's your trade. Now you got to be careful if you're in any buys as you come to this line, because potentially looking at these two, there's a good chance you can get one more down. And this might give us an indication whether yen is going to go into a bigger consolidation or it's actually going to take off, right? But once we see this started first, this might be an indication that yen is going to consolidate. So you look for this, and then it's likely going to go. There is not much here to trade anymore. If you were trading it, you should trade it from the bottom. But there is a chance that you can get one more buy here this week. And that might be your final buy. So which means you'll have to let this come back. See? You'll have to let this come back here. And then look for your final trade. If it starts to fall very sharp, let it fall first. Let it consolidate. And then sell it back to break the low. So which is it going to do this week? I don't know. It could do both of those this week, which means it could make the final move up. Maybe they don't pull back. They just go make the final move to the top and then start to fall, make a flag, and then go down. You will sell that and sell it all the way to the bottom. So which of those two is going to happen this week? Who knows? Right now, structurally, both of them possible because we know what the structure will be if they fall, and we know what the structure will be if they break out, right? And both of them are possible structures that exist in the market. So which one of those two we'll get, who knows? We'll wait and see, right? But if you're in the buy now, be careful. If you're not buying, wait for them to pull back before you buy. If it goes to the top without you, then let it go, because you don't have a good risk to reward trade to be buying at the top there. CAD correcting. I don't think CAD is going back up. So it was a short-term buy if you had that. I think, I don't know how many of you took the short-term buy. It's a short-term buy for correction. Turned out to be bigger correction than I expected, but it's still a correction, right? They always pull back. Even in the down move like that, they pull back. They pull back before they go. If you're looking at this one, they pull back before they come back. They pull back before they go. So this is just a deep pullback as of now. Until it breaks here and break out of there, we will treat this as a down move. I don't think this is a consolidating big. I think they'll probably pull back, make another three wave like that, and then drop again. So it's not a buy setup, right? If you're the short-term buys, which we had here, you would have seen that. I think a lot of you saw this short-term buy, right? A lot of you took that buy. I'm pretty sure one of those two or both of them. And there was a short-term buy here also. Remember, we said when you see this, you're expecting a correction to the upside, right? So you had a buy there, you had a buy there, you had a buy there. Those were short-term buys. Take profit out of every one of them. You don't have a buy here. If they do pull back like this, and I would want them to pull back bigger to the downside, not as a fall, but as a correction, and you go back one more, you can take that buy, because they will break the top before they come down. More of a three-wave correction you can expect them there before they come down, right? So it's just a bigger correction for more downside. You can buy and sell both in corrective structures, because depending on what pattern you have. This one was pretty easy to see, right? The sharp move, but pull back, take the trade. Pull back, take the trade again, right? Let's go. XAG. XAG is the weird one, right? We were expecting this to go down. Last week, we thought that this pattern here should go down, because we were looking at it. It's looked very corrective. It should go down, and I still think it should go down. This up move did not change that bias to the downside. Some of my traders took that one, and as a short-term trade, turns out to be a very good gift for them, because we didn't expect it to go so high. If you take it, we took it probably to break this top here, but you got lucky. So good for you. We're looking for this one. We're still within the consolidation zone. We haven't gone anywhere, right? So the big question comes now this week is if they consolidate here and break this top, or if they start to go back down to make one more. Now, I still think this could be one more down. Come here, go back one more down, right? Basically, I thought this correction would stay within this flat pattern here. Breaking out does not change that it's a correction. So they can still come here, just that you got a bigger C wave than expected. Come back here and then probably go back up. Or if they go break the top, we will look at this as the impulse to the upside as this one. So at this point here, they will still have to come down. So whether they come down from here or they break the top, I wouldn't be buying it. And I wouldn't advise you to buy it until you have a really good pattern here for a buy, which means you got a 4-hour correction that gives you a buy, then you buy, right? So if they're going to break the top, if they're going to break this top here as an impulse, then you would want to see a 4-hour correction here. Then take that trade up. Because if you get a small correction, they may just break this top and turn. If you get a big correction, they'll break that top and then turn. That would be 1, 2, 3, right? Something like that, because the last piece on this one here is not clear. It's not very clear which piece is the last piece. Is not clear whether it's contracting flat. Not very good. It would be much better if they go down first and then up. That would be a pattern we know. Not that we don't know this. It's not common. It's rare. It's very rare. You got them break the low by 2 pips and then turn. It's one of those rare type of flat patterns that we don't see that often, right? Gold, on the other hand, is pretty clear to us, and it hasn't changed the structure. Downside, and it's still working good in the downside, right? So you would watch gold until it comes here. Those of you who are selling it, watch it while it comes to this level. And then here you'll tell us, is it 1, 2, 3 to make another one? Then they can probably make one more push up, right? When they get to this level, then you will see what happens. So if you get a buy setup like you had a buy setup here, let me just show you that. This one was easy. If you got a buy setup like this, or you get a buy setup like that, take the next trade up. If they have to come here first, turn, go back, give you the buy setup, and then take that trade, right? Because this one is not a good sell where it is now. Yes. So let's go. Euro Aus. Euro Aus broke out, but we saw this, but I don't think this is going to be the one that goes up and break the top. We were expecting them to go break this top. Maybe this top, maybe this top, expecting them to go up some more, right? But I don't think this is the one that will go break the top. If we get buy setup, we'll take it. But I think this is making more of a B wave. Like you get one down, you go back up something like this, and then come back here before they go. More of a bigger, well, not like this, but similar, right? Something like that, more of a flat pattern in there before you go. So on the upside here, let's go to the 4 hour. 1 hour. If you're going to buy it, and it's likely could give you a buy, wait for this to come back like that. Wait for it to come down or wait for it to make a 1, 2, 3, and then buy. Wait for a 4 hour correction before you buy, because I don't think that is the one will go up. And if they start to make these deep pullback, it will be the B wave for one more down. But you can still trade it, right? Because each one is going to give you 50, 60 pips. They pull back, you get a trade to the upside, that's about 60 pips. So you can wait for that. Don't try to sell it here because bad idea, right? Euro New Zealand, pretty much doing the same thing, going back up, right? Once they're in this consolidation, they keep bouncing up and down. I thought this would come break the low here, finish this structure, and then go back up, which means we're still in the consolidation. That downside is still likely going to happen. Just becomes a much more bigger consolidation than we thought. Come back, break the top, and still go back down. And they still have to break this low. So I don't think this is the total upside, but we do have buy setups this week. You had some last week. There was one here, and they're making another buy setup here if they come back. So if this comes back something like this, wait for a bigger one like that, and then take the buy. All right, so you're going to get 1, 2, 3, and then you have that one. So somewhere in here, you'll get a buy setup. But it's going to be a bigger correction than these going up. Right? If they do that, then you have that buy setup to go. If you go from here, don't buy it. Well, because if you buy it, you're going to be risking too much for too small profit. Not that you can't take it, but the risk will not be worth the reward will not be worth the risk you're taking. So when you see trades like that, you just ignore them. Wait for the better setup. Wait for the deeper pullback that gives you better risk to reward. EuroCAD. If you're looking for a buy, you got it. 1, 2, 3. They broke out. That was the buy setup. They did come deeper than we expected. You see the line here. I was thinking that this one would probably just drop to about here and then go back up. They did drop deeper, but then they go, and that's your buy setup. It's still a 3-wave structure if you look at it. Right? And then they're going up. So this expected to go more. You can look for more buy setups because they can come all the way back to the top here. Go to the 1 hour. I don't think you want to buy here. Now, those who are in the trade will just move their stops to break even, and I would let it go. I would let this go, do what it has to do, pull back, give you a flag, just give you a flag, and then you buy again, right? Buy that because it could go really, really fast. We don't know how fast it's going to go. You already had the big correction, right? So it should start moving now. Euro Yen. Euro Yen kind of consolidating here, right? This structure told us that we're going to get a correction. Now, I don't think it's downside. I think this is more of a correction here now, and then they're going to go up, right? So we see that pattern. We know that pattern is downside. My traders should have sold it from in here, which was a trade call we took in our class. You can sell it from there. Now, I hope they took profit because this is making another correction here or a reversal. A reversal is possible as a 1, 2, 3. And this goes up. So let me just change the line so you can see that. There's a possible 1, 2, 3 in here. So this could go up, right? What would be your buy setup if you're looking for a buy? I'd wait for this to go up a little more, pull back, make a flag, and then start buying, right? That would be your buy setup. If you don't get the flag, wait for this to consolidate. They will either consolidate or make a flag, make an up move, make a flag, and then go, or they will consolidate right here. If they do that, you get one more drop. And I mean one more drop. Take profit. Follow the move your stops to be in profit. Because if you don't do that, they could reverse from here and go. I think this is just a big correction for upside. The upside is not over. Your chief, this one is a little messy. It looks like they're correcting at the top there. You've had corrections like that there. This one wasn't the best correction. This one is actually showing reversal signs until they turn, and then we saw the running flat in there. This one is definitely looking corrective, which means you're getting some correction here. You got to move down, you got to move up, getting a move down. If you get a flag here, buy. If they pull back and make a lower one, wait for the breakout, right? So which is going to be the one coming right now? I think there's a likelihood you're going to get a buy above here, especially if this consolidates here. If you get that consolidation, take the buy above that top, right? And that would be a short-term trade. Take profit. Yeah, it's already corrected most of that. That's way before now they've corrected that move already. Okay. So Euro Chief, I think they can get all the way to that top. So they've already corrected all of that move. So they can get all the way to this top here. Watch it. If they give you that flag, buy, because it could go pretty high. All right. Euro Pound, still in the sideways, one more up as we expected, and they're doing that already. My traders got this very nice from this level. I don't know how many of you got this trade. Anybody here who's not my trader got this trade? That buy there? Because we were saying watch this to upside. Only one person, only Ivan got it. Bought from the last one, because this was a pretty clear trade. I told you guys this is going to go back up one more, at least for running flat, right? So if you got that trade, should be easy. Now there's a good chance it will go higher, right? You have the sell in that. That sell may be too premature. I think I last week I showed you guys this one where we had all these structures on, and we had that up there, right? Where this is likely going to go back and make those trades, right? If we're looking at this as a flat. So you're expecting one more up, maybe down again, maybe then up again. So it's going up. Right now, if you're in the sell, you got to be careful. If you're in the buy, you got to be careful. Is the sell ready? Let's see. Might be a little premature for the sell. Did we break this top? Not as yet. So this pattern here, 1, 2, 3, could come back down to retest the low. So if you're in the buy, you move your stops here. They can break out, which means you're going to get an expanding flat, right? And then come down. So the downside, if you're going to buy, if this piece here, see that sharp move there, if this piece here consolidates here some more, you can only sell beyond this low. Or if they consolidate here some more, then you sell the breakout. Because if you try to sell it now, nothing says it can't go higher. All right, so if you're in the sell, you want to put a protective stop. I'd put this stop just above this stop here. If they break that up, that's it. They're probably going to go up. All right, so if you're in the sell, it might be a little premature. Just put this stop and wait, leave it and let it see what it does. Pangos, more downside. We got this correct, and I think they're going to come down more. They came down nicely. They made a deep pullback, and I hope that didn't scare a lot of you because it was just a deep pullback. They made a sharp move down, and now they made one more up. Basically, the reason I have it there is because we think they'll come break that up. So they can still go back up here, break this stop, and then fall. It's more of a correction. Once they get here, take profit because you're likely going to get one more up. Let me show you that in the 4 hour. So we're expecting this C wave to end somewhere a little lower than this, maybe somewhere here. And then we're going to expect this to go back up. So the question is, how low would the C come, right? How low would this come before they go back up? They actually broke the low already, I think. Let's see. Yeah, they broke that low already. So it doesn't necessarily has to come back down, but based on the pattern we have here, based on what we are seeing, this pattern here, I think they will make one more down, right? This pattern is not looking very strong to the upside. I still think that you could watch this. If they break, take this straight here and put it to break. You move your stops, right? Because I don't think this is making 1, 2, 3 to go back up. I think we will make 3 here and then come down, or we can come down from here as a contracting flat, right? So the downside, if they break out, gives you one more trade. The upside is a short-term trade, very short-term, because it's still in the consolidation. And what I mean by that is they might come break this top. Come here, break that up, and then go down. We're in a consolidation. The bigger picture would be one more up. If you trade long-term, You can wait for all of this to finish and then trade this up. That is one more up like this, right? You got an up move, you got a consolidation, you got an up move, you're getting a consolidation, you get another up move. You can ignore all these little trades in here, up and down, and then take that trade when it happens. Pound New Zealand, same here. One more up. I think you can see that very clearly. This one we saw going up. Got that. It's in a consolidation. They'll probably drop here too again. How far and then go back up? We don't know. But once they get there, you're going to be downside. So let's see this. See, this one is coming down. There may be a nice sell setup here that might happen this week. Once they get to this low, that will be enough for them to go up, but they can actually come lower and then go back up, right? So your first trade is a sell, short term, move your stops, take it, let them come down some more, and then look for that buy up. This buy can be from anywhere from here to here. It could be from any one of those points. Come to the top there, then you have a bigger corrective structure for downside. You have a perfect corrective structure for downside. You have an impulse, you have a correction, and you're looking for another impulse. First down on the 1 hour down, 4 hour up, daily down. See that? Wave analysis. Did I ever mention to you that we're doing something called wave analysis? Tells you what wave you're in and how it works. Right? So first down, up, then down. That's our forecast. Let's see how it plays, right? As one guy said, he said, if it's going down, sell it. If it's going up, buy it. And I'm like, yes, what's wrong with that? You want to sell it when it's going up? Go ahead. Right? It's falling. Go take a buy. Right? That's the whole point. The other part of the thing that he's not mentioning is that, do you know when it's going to go up and when it's going to go down? You see my analysis? I didn't say that, oh, it's going to fall or it's going to come down. We're anticipating it's going to go up, and then we're anticipating it's going to go down. We'll all see whether it plays out, right? There could be a change in structure, but so far, based on what we have, that is the analysis. I will have to wait for the structural change before I change my views on it. And if this happens and they give us setups for all those trades, we will take every single one of them. Some of them we might not take because there wasn't a setup to take it. So if this thing falls from here to here Monday morning before I wake up, I'll miss the sell. And that's okay. I'll be looking for the buy. Hopefully I get a setup on the buy, because in a move like that, I will get a setup. And when it comes to the top here, I'll get it to the trade and wait to see whether it's giving me the sell. If it does give me the sell, we'll take it. That's what we've been doing on yen. We've been showing you that live on yen. We took 3 buys, 3 opportunities. We took 3, 2 of them were break even. 1 of them is in profit, and it's doing well because we knew that one was going to go up, right? So we bought the first time. It fell a little. I remember one guy came, what is he saying that the yen is going to buy? It's falling. Not falling. It's in the same spot. It's just that it went down a little couple pips more. Yes, took us out for break even. The second one took you out for break even. The third one is the one you're getting, right? And will the third one go to the target I want it to go to? Maybe not, right? Maybe it will not go to that target, but it doesn't matter because I will get out for profit now, that's for sure. And then the next one I will go to the target. If I see them coming down to break the low gain, I will even sell it and make profit and then buy it back up. Once we see structural change, we look at the other side of the trade for a possibility. And if it is worth it, which means if there's good risk to reward to it, I'll take it. If there isn't, I'll just skip it, right? So although it looks simple when I show you here, it's not that simple. Like I said, there's so much more you still need to know about it. Swiss, coming down nicely, expected that to come down. And this is one I think I spoke to you guys. I'm not sure whether it was to you or to my group. If you're selling any of the pound pairs, you want to sell this one. You want to be in the selling this one. And I make sure I stress this to all my traders. You definitely need a sell in this one. And there's a specific reason why you need a sell in this one. We're not even going to go into that here, but you need to get into this sell. If not from the top there, you need to get it from this top. You need to get it from breakout. You need to get it somewhere here. We're in consolidation. So I think this is making a B wave. I'm expecting them to go back up here and then go down. Now, if they do fall from here, it might be a running flat. Still, they will probably do this and then go back there and fall. But I'm already in the sell, and most of my traders in the sell, and you should be in the sell, but you cannot sell it here. You cannot sell into this structure. I'm going to go into 15 so you understand. You cannot sell here in the break of this because you have this wave here that is not confirming to you that this is going to go down. Wait for this to do this. Come here, go back there, and then you get a good sell. You get an up, you get a down, you get an up, and then you get a good sell coming down. Right? You have to see that structural pattern. Can this still go break the low? Of course. Can it come back here and go break the low? Of course. Can it come back here and go break the low? Of course. But when it makes that impulse, that corresponding impulse, only then you have a good sell. Otherwise, that any one of this sell could be dangerous to you. You can lose the trade and then watch it go down. Unless you're trading without stops, and that means you will not only lose the trade, you can lose your whole account and then watch it go down. Right? That is the complexity of these patterns, but we know all of them. So it doesn't matter how complex a pattern this one is going to try to make, we know all the patterns. So I'm in the sell and I'm okay. Let it make whatever pattern it wants to make because it's going down. Punk cap, this one, like most of the other punk trades, has the potential for one more up, except for the punk Swiss. That's the only one that doesn't have a clear potential for upside. Pong Oz, I told you, possible upside after this one more move down. Pong New Zealand, possible upside after the one more. Pong Cat looks like a possible upside. Right? So anytime they start breaking this structure, we would look for one more impulse to the upside. Like that. Now, if this piece comes here, stop here, come very sharp to that level, stop there, and we see this flat, then we're looking for one more here and then the upside. Right? So if it gives us a sell up here, we'll sell it. Because this looks like a B wave within a structure that is making a bigger correction. Drop here and then go back up. So just breaking that trend line is not a buy setup. If you're buying when it breaks that trend line, you're doing it wrong. That's not how you should trade, right? You have to wait for the perfect setup when it breaks the trend line before you take the trade. Pong Yen, we were expecting it to go break that top. They came very high, but they haven't broken the top. But they're still not on the downside as yet. There were down sell setups. You had this sell setup here. There's another sell setup that was here. And then on the 1 hour, I think you'll get that, yeah. Sell setup in here. There's a sell setup. Well, there is one here, but now you have got to, once we are at the trend line, you want to take it out. Why? Because that is where the pattern could start to make a B wave. Right? If it is going to go back up, they will make a correction here still. Come back here and then do that. Finish off a 3-wave structure here before they go. So this might be in sideways move while the other yen pair, pound pairs will be moving. I don't think this is going to go down from here, but if they do go down from here, that changes our view on this whole structure, right? They need to break that top. At least not that top, sorry, they need to break this top. Oh, they broke that already, so kind of be careful, it could go down, yeah. I didn't check they broke that top. Breaking that top means they can go down because they broke the top of the impulse. So if they're going to go down, here's what we'll do. We'll watch here for flag. Make sure that they make a correction here before you get into any sell setup. And if you get that, they'll probably come break this low, right? So watch this sharp move to make a correction before you sell. They did break the top. I didn't realize they broke that top. They don't have to break this top. They need to break this top. Right, there's a reason for that. So let's see if they're turning there at that point. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD, remember I said we want a bigger daily correction and then we will all sell it. Well, they're making a bigger daily correction here. And it looks like they're going to go up one more. It would be good for us if they do that. We'd like this to go up some more. Maybe even make a bigger correction at the top there, and then we will all sell that on a daily for a daily trade to the downside. This one is not good to trade in the lower time frame, but on the daily it's perfect. So we want that daily correction. We look for a 60-minute sell setup, and then we'll be trading it down to that 270. So you want a correction in here. Take a trade, put a stop, and you'll keep that trade all the way to this level. Now, can it go very fast? Well, let me show you what it did previously so you will know why we're looking for that trade and where that trade came from. We're looking for this trade. You saw that big correction there? After you got that impulse, see this impulse? You see the big correction here? We forecast that. And then we said, we look for a sell setup here. We didn't get one there. Now they're making a sell setup for us. So if we get this, we're looking for this trade. Do you think it can move fast when it starts to move down? That's the fastest move. So if this thing makes a flat here, you want to take that trade. If you're lucky, you get that. See? So are we going to be lucky? I don't know. Let's hope. So wait for that correction. We'll trade it in the daily down. You can just put a trial trade if you want to see how it's going to go. We're getting some correction there. I'll just leave it, let them make more corrections, and then we'll come to it. Maybe by next week, we'll get a trade. Aussie Chief, you can get a short-term trade set up here. Considering that Swiss is likely to fall, if you get a small flag here, sell this to this area, and they're definitely going to break out, right? Because, you know, they have 3, they can make 5, they can bounce from here and go back up one more, make a 5-year structure before they come down, but I think it's unlikely. They'll probably just go down from here. So look for sell setups. Wait for the flag. If you don't have the flag, they can still go up. Remember, I told you, we don't know where the top is. Making an assumption that the top might be the worst thing you can do, because this could go back up, break the top, and then come down. So to prevent you from doing that, wait for this to make a flag. And if it makes a flag, well, then you're likely going to go down. Right? Your probability in the trade has just gone up if you get the flag. Aussie, New Zealand. We knew this was going to go up. And I knew likely I'm not going to get in this trade, and I still might not get it. Wait for another break. It might go up. This could consolidate quite a lot because we are making the B wave now. We just completed, I think, the A part of that one. Let me show you in the daily. I think we just completed the first part of a bigger correction, which is this part down. We need to make 1, 2, 3 up. So we may be starting that very first one to the upside. If you get a buy ticket, they're going to probably come back here. Probably go back there, and then we're going to get this move down, right? So this would be the final one down before you get that big move up. They will likely break this low, not necessary, but likely break that low, right? So if they come and break this low, we will all be buying, and we will really buy that thing because it's going to go up really fast, right? This is a very long-term consolidation. You can take short-term buys, well, not short-term. These are going to be really good buys. You got a buy set up here. If they break out, take the trade, right? New Zealand, Swiss, look for sell setups. Remember, all the Swiss pairs are looking downside. So if this makes a flag here, sell it. If they reverse, you can buy above the top, right? Which is it doing? I think the downside is more likely. But you can wait and see. But the downside, I think, in this pattern here is more likely to happen, which means I don't think they'll get to that top. They may just start going down. We'll see. Get to that top, I think unlikely. But you can only buy when they break this top here. Then you get to buy. You can mostly look for sell setups. Come back to this level here. Aussie Yen. Same with the Aussie Yen as the Aussie Swiss. Now, although we think Swiss is going to go down, there's a likelihood Yen goes up, right? So the same here. If you get a flag, only then you sell. If they reverse from here, you can buy anywhere from here or from the break of the top there if you get a setup. And you will get a setup. That will be 1, 2, 3, and they can go up more. Now, if you were look at the way they were coming down, that down sharp down move should not surprise you, right? Because you notice they had a very deep pullback here, and if you were thinking about buying, you missed the sell, right? See this deep pullback here? You got it. They make deep pullback in this thing. So this deep pullback does not negate the upside. It actually helps you to know that you're looking for the upside. Wait for the trade. Wait for it to make an impulse. If they correct here, you get one more trade down. Take it. But if they make a sharp move and start to go up, you look for the buy above the top. New Zealand Yen. I think you're looking for upside too. I think that's a deep correction. They'll probably go one more up. We had those structures already, right? You know, they make deep corrections come down. They make deep corrections come down. Well, you got a deep correction, expect that one up. I don't think this is going to go down. If I'm going to be selling this more, if I'm looking for sell, if you're in sell, you should come out or move your stops. If I'm going to be selling this, I'll wait for them to do this. So if I see that pattern, which is this one here, then we're selling one more. But right now, it's looking upside, either to make that correction or to actually take off. So if you get a buy setup on the 1 hour, right? You get a buy setup at the bottom there, take the trade, right? What would be the buy setup? It's coming, let it come, let it make a consolidation here. And if they make this consolidation, you take this trade. If they do that and pull back, make a consolidation and go, you get a sell. If they just take off, that's your trade. In any case, you're likely going to get a break-even trade if you're wrong about it and they go down. And then you take that trade, right? But you can hardly lose in something like that because it's correcting. And it's like once it's making that correction, it gives you the opportunity to get out for break-even. New Zealand CAD. Very deep move. At some point, we thought this is going to go back up, but it started to make those corrections. I still think it's going to go down some more because this should come and make 1, 2, 3 here. And somewhere from here, they will go down again, right? So it's crawling down. It's not easy to trade, and I don't think you should trade it. You can see that, right? Eventually, they're going to make a deep correction, but not a good trading setup. Just leave it. We see the patterns, but they're not tradable because you don't get the good entry, the right place to have good risk to reward. And you can see they're pulling back pretty fast, right? So even if you get in an entry, you're likely going to get break even. Like this was a good sell. If you saw this, right? This was a good sell. But the sell would have been only to this low, which means we'd have closed the trade there. Because this was the potential of them going back there. They just dropped lower and now they're going back. So that just makes a running flat. They'll come down from there, right? I don't think it's a reversal as yet. If it's a reversal, we'll sell when they break out, when they break the top. Canadian, more downside. Actually, this one was a nice setup. Not paying attention too much to that. Don't sell it now, especially if you're coming out of this structure. Let them come out. Let them pull back. Take one trade down. If this is the start of a down move, which could be very slow, right? The start of a down move, we've seen these, and they just keep going, right? So put it in a 4-hour. It could be the start of a bigger down move. So you just wait for a pullback on the 1 hour, then sell. Your buy setup is not going to be here at least until next week. Maybe end of next week, you're not going to get a buy. For you to get a buy setup, they have to reverse, correct, and then go. That will take you about a week. So if you get a 60 minutes correction here, that will be a better sell setup. They're breaking out of the structure. That's important. That's changing that structure that we thought was making. So wait for a pullback, wait for a flag. Probably you can see a lot of them. Like this is a 1. You don't need a big one like that. You need a smaller flag, something like this. You might just get a smaller flag like that. See that one there? Something like this. And that would be a good sell. Susian. Okay, it looks like they're making a low. They did break that structure. Broke the low here. So Canadian looks downside. Swiss yen looks upside. Right? Because Swiss is going to fall. All the Swiss pairs are showing signs that the Swiss dollar is about to fall. So be careful. This one looks more upside. I would not be selling this here. I'd not be selling this here. I'd not be selling. This thing looks like you're waiting for a buy setup. Right? Don't sell it. You're waiting for a buy setup. Cat Swiss. Buy on the break of this. You're going to get, it's coming to the top. It's coming very slow. You just have to wait for any correction and buy. Well, not so slow on the daily, but we're expecting it to go there, right? I think I showed you this pattern. If you got in here, you're lucky. We got a little confused with that sharp move down, so we got in later at this level, and then you can get in at that level. Now you can get in at this level. And they're probably going to make a deep correction here. Probably see a correction more in here, and then this would be a trade to the upside. And they didn't make a deep correction. They make a deep correction, but then you get that trade. So we're looking for this trade. Impulse, you got a 1, 2, 3 down. You're looking for next impulse. You know, you see the impulses are sharp in that move, so you probably get a nice impulse to the top. Copper. Copper is going up. We anticipate the upside, but it's not going the way we like. It's actually stopping in the trend line. So just stay out of it. If you're in the buy, take off your trade. Wait, this is not going the way I expect it to go. And that means you can get one more downside. Then go up. Watch this here. They're making something like a flag. So if they break, then you go for the trade. I will be careful of the sell though. Right? How far that goes. And the buy now, you can buy when they break the top of the structure. Like when they break out of the structure, makes a correction, then you buy, because you're at that point where they can do either. Right? So I want it, if I was in the trade, take it off. Now, if you want to get into this trade, wait until they break out, pull back, and then you're going to get a very sharp move to the upside. Better not to trade it if you don't have the experience. Oil broke this top. We didn't think they were going to break that top. Right? We thought they were going to come down from there. They did go break the top, and now it's looking downside. So now this still has to come back, right? That can't keep going. It's not sustainable in this pattern, right? Breaking the top itself doesn't mean anything, right? You see, this has a lot of pattern in it, right? So breaking this top just extended this wave. But now if you get a correction here, trade this down to this level. That will make 1, 2, 3, and then upside. So we still think they have to make a move to the downside there. So let's see this week if you get it. And if 1 hour, you can see they're making an attempt to go down. They're making an attempt there. They broke, they pull back. They can still go down. That has not changed structurally. The buys at the top here, if you get it now, will be a little dangerous. We actually saw this, but wasn't the best buy. So I'd say if you take it on your own risk. Same here, this is not going to be a good buy if it goes. So let's say this consolidate here and push out again. It would be a buy to break this top, but it's not going to be the best buy, right? You start getting a contracting ending triangular pattern at the top there, that will fall to the downside. And that would be like finishing off this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go to the top there and then come back. So it wouldn't be the best risk to reward trade, but the sell will be, because the sell is going to give you more reward. The sell should go further down if it happens, right? So keep an eye on it. The buy, I would not take the buy here, not such a good one. After the sell is upside. So we're expecting this pattern. Let me just show you guys very fast. You see, they've broken the top before and come down, right? Let's take, this is what you have. You see that sharp move there? I'm going to go step by step with you guys. You have that. You see this move going up here? We're in that move right now. You notice what they did before they go up? That's what we're expecting. Come here first and then go up. See? Doesn't call for a lot of science here, right? It calls for pretty much ability to see well. If you can see well, then you can do it. So where it's going to come to here, that depends on which pattern it's going to make. In this case, it was a running flat, and I think they will probably make a running flat here, so they can come to anywhere here, 64, somewhere around there. You will start to see that turning sign before you get in the fight, right? So it could be some kind of a running flat at the top there in the making. Remember what I told you guys. It's not about making a running flat. If you go back and watch those educational videos, it's not about the flat. It's about if they make that specific pattern for us, we know what that pattern is going to do. Right? It's not that the market is making a pattern for us. The market is doing what it's going to do, and that will create a pattern. Whatever the market is doing, they can do anything they want there. Buy, sell, whatever they're doing. Because remember, whatever they're doing is showing us what they're planning to do. Let me hope I get this over to you. So if they're planning to push this thing up very strong, very likely they bring it down first in a pattern, in a specific pattern. And this is one of those patterns that we see, that they'll very likely drop the market to a certain level and then start to go up. And what they do creates a specific pattern. We look at that pattern and said, guys, we've seen this before, right? So if they do this, we look for the uptrade. What if they don't do that and they just keep pushing this thing up slowly, slowly? Well, we've seen that pattern also. We are just not expecting it to happen here, but we've seen that also. It's called a running flat with that extended B wave. Well, we know what to do if we start to see that pattern, which means if you get a buy setup, you take a buy, take profit, take a buy, take profit, until you get a sharp drop, and then you start buying again. Because that sharp drop would be the C wave in an extended running flat and then go again. So that is the point. It's not that the market is making some kind of pattern for us or making some kind of pattern they have to go make a C. Because that's what Elliott wavers like to say. We're expecting it to make a C wave. That's not what it's going to do. They don't know anything about C waves. The market doesn't care a darn about your C wave or your X wave or your Y wave. The market is buying and selling. But by the way they're buying and selling, their intentions, right? Just think of it very logically. If you would like to make a lot of money buying oil, and you're one of the market movers in oil, I don't know, you're one of the biggest oil company, or you would like, or you were one of the people who control the bears, you're one of the middlemen who has the biggest buying power. You would like the price to go down first. You stop buying, right? If you're the US buying oil, you stop buying oil until the price drops to about 64, and then you start buying back, right? Something like that. So basically, that's the whole thing, the intentions of the market that we see. If they allow it to drop to this level, by the way they're buying, small buy, and then drop it, we see that intention. How do we see it? Because we've seen that pattern before. We have seen them behave that way before. And that's the way they're going to behave again when they're going to do it, right? It's the same thing like you go to a fish market, you go to any market. You know the behaviors of the people who are selling in there. You know when they have, good quality and when they don't have that good quality, and what they're trying to do, when the price is going to go up. And you know that stuff, because if you're doing that, and if you're studying it, that's what you should know, right? Basically the same thing here. You know whether the seasons, when things starts getting expensive and when things starts getting cheap, right? You know when to buy a ticket or something if you're flying, when the season or not. It's the same thing. It's just a matter of doing it with currencies. They're buying and selling something. That's it. And once they get into that buy and sell, you understand what the pattern is going to be. So that is what I want you guys to focus on, understanding what is happening there. So it gives you that edge. Same here. This one we anticipated a little more because you can see that flat. That wasn't difficult. We're getting kind of a flat here. So if they're going to go up here, you will get another sharp wave here, and then they're going to come down, right? You can already see that pattern there. So they can make one more sharp wave here, and then this one is more anticipated because the structure is very clear. So this upside you can see, but same here, they have to go down before they go back up, right? We're still expecting them to come down here first before they go. Natural gas. Okay, natural gas might or might not give you a buy. Probably stay out of it because you're in this pattern here. And if this goes, it might just go slightly above here. Break that top, make 1, 2, 3, and come back down. I don't think this is the start of the upside. I don't see that happening, but if it is going to happen, here's what you're going to do. You're going to wait for a 1 hour pullback here, okay? I don't think this is going up, but wait for them to make a 1 hour flag here. Buy this, and when they come to this stop, put it to break even. If this is the correction and they're going up, they're going to take off. I think this is more of a B wave. Come here, break the top, reverse it, give you a flag, and you sell it to the downside. See? Pretty much they'll come break this low. So which of those two we're going to get? Who cares? If you get a buy setup, take it. If you don't get a buy setup, let it go. Stop, reverse, then look for the sell setup. Because I don't think this is the one will take off without making consolidation. S&P 500, it's just in a consolidation. And it's probably going to stay here for a while. This looks like it's going to go up some more. I think we're looking at a flat like that. So we can expect this to go up some more and then start to come back down, right? So maybe you'll get a buy setup sometime. My traders should be in the sell because of this pattern we had here. You should be in the sell. You want to move your stops or even take profit because, as you see, it's likely that we're finishing this one and they could start to go up. Come retest the top and then go back down. You know where there's a pattern like this? Anybody who is not my trader want to tell me where we have a pattern like that? Right in this chart. So let me show you. It's right in this chart, and that's how we know there's a pattern like that. See this one? You got a sharp move up, you got to move down. You did that. You come, you drop to this level. Remember what we told you? They have to come back and break that top before they go down. It's also the Euro Aus, but it's right here. You don't have to go far to see it. That's the problem. That's the thing you have to learn to see, right? Is that you don't have to go far. You have a move up, you have a move down. You start to do that. You get another move down. You go break the top and then come down. It's right here. You think they don't do patterns? You think there isn't patterns that are distinctive in these charts? We knew that this was going to go up. We knew it's going to come down. So would they repeat the same thing here? Very often they do that. They repeat the same thing. Go here, come back here, and then start to go back up. Right? So you see those patterns. What if they start repeating that same thing? Well, you're prepared. You know how to trade it. right? If they don't, you just wait. You're no longer in that trade, and you wait until they do what you understand the market is going to do. You're waiting for that edge in the market. It's behaving the way you know it should behave. And if it behaves that way, that's it. That's your trade, right? You're going to get a buy here. They're breaking out, but it's still a buy. See, this is still a buy. They're just breaking out slightly, get a bigger. One more up. At least one more up, take profit. Don't keep it. DJI, very similar. One more up. Similar structure we're getting here. You see this one? Probably could come a little more, but then eventually upside and then downside. So I think it's just a bigger one here. We got a sharp move, sharp correction. Go there, probably go one more up. Nifty. More upside for Nifty. Just be careful. I don't know how strong this is going to go, how far it's going to go, right? Because I don't think this is all the correction. It's just still in a bigger correction. And as you get higher with this one, you probably want to be careful because they can start to make downside. Let's see. Bitcoin, for those of you who do Bitcoin, nothing surprising, right? Anything surprising here? Absolutely nothing, right? I think I even mentioned, one guy said, why are you telling people to buy Bitcoin when it's at the bottom here? Last week was the same thing, right? I told you guys that story. Why are you telling people? Well, because we saw this coming up. It's going to go up very slow. There's a good chance it's going to, you got to watch this. Move your stops and watch this. I think they're going to still continue to climb, right? Kind of climb all the time. So you get a little pullback buy. You get a pullback buy, right? Buy until they break that up and then start being very careful. They don't have to, just remember they don't have to break the top, so move your stops. But we always focus that they will go break the top. Same here, this was a buy setup, and same with the Ripple. What's a buy setup, right? Nothing new here, just buy it because we're coming back to retest those stops. See, they work. Like I said, you be prepared, and when they give you the trade, you take it, they work. See that it's that easy, it's not that complicated. So I think that's about it. We completed this here. Somebody wanted me to look at something. Quick question. Go ahead, shoot your question. You sold Aussie New Zealand in October 20, bought on October 13 as a hedge. Should I rather exit the short now or 4 months to keep it to breaking the low? Whoa, that's a long question. Send me that question on Skype. I'll send you the answer because we have to go look at all those dates and everything. We don't have the time for that. I'll send you the direct answer to that, what you can do with it. All right, send me it on Skype. I'll send it to you. I'll take my time and look at it for you. I have to look at all the dates and where you are in the structure. We can't do all the charts. So I'll try to do this last one, but then when you get requests, you have to do all kinds of charts for everybody. And then, it's a never-ending process. So this one is kind of in a sideways here. They can pull back here. I can see them do that, but it looks like they're going to go up, right? This is more of a correction for upside. So they can get one more down here, but then it's upside. So you can decide if you want the downside to trade, but most likely look for the upside too, right? Unless they break this structure. I still think there's more in this structure to the upside. When you do a webinar on market myths, time. If I can do that, I'll do it. I'm breaking the myths for you as I do these webinars every week. I'm giving you one. There's so many of them I've already broken, right, that you can see. When does the next score starts? That will be till in September. So probably, wait until August, somewhere there, if you want to join. If you want to join early, it's okay, but you'll still have to wait inside the group, right? You'll be inside the group waiting until August, so it doesn't make a big difference if you join now until August. Can we please check ruble? Ruble is in a correction now. I think it's going to go up one more spike, and because it's not going to come down from here. This is not the aggressive downside, so there is a good chance that you're just correcting them. They did break this top. They did break this top here, right? So here's what you would look for if they're going to come down. If this pattern is finished, and it can be finished, you'll wait for this to correct up like that. If you see the up move start to look like this, then you're looking for sells, right? But if this up move makes a sharp move, retest the top, then you can start to look for sells too also, right? Well, I don't know which of those two they're going to do, so we wait because they did break the top, which means this is a complete pattern as it stands. The only question is this over? And I don't think that is over. I think that has one more upside, right? But let's see which one. Okay. Sir, please, can you talk about the fib levels on your chart? You have talked about the 618 level and breakout of the corrections on your entry criteria in one of your interviews and examples. So you thought about it. Please, if you can elaborate a little. These are regular, normal fib levels that everybody uses. They're standard. Nothing is magical about the fib level. Nothing is even magical about the 618. We do have a strategy that uses the 618 trading, but it has to have a complete corrective structure before we do that. It's not a very common strategy, which means you don't get that trade so often. But when you do get that trade, it's the safest trade any trader can take. Now, that doesn't mean you go buy the 618 because it has a number of rules whereby you have to wait for it, right? And if you fulfill those rules and you take that trade, and you, even if you're wrong about it, there's a 99% chance that when you're wrong, you manage to get out for break even. That's a very, very safe trade. It's not magical. It's just basic logic within the charts that you can see, right? So, you know, the fibs, people who sell fib trading as strategies think it's magical. There's nothing magical. I mean, it's just percentage. So don't take too much into those percentage. Because if they go to 70%, they go to 50%, they don't have to take the 6.8. They can go to 60, they don't have to go to, you know, 61.8 exactly. It's somewhere around there. Just watch for the patterns. It depends on what patterns they're making, right? The patterns is what is most important. And that is it. So, okay, guys, I want to thank all of you for coming. Please don't forget to help share the videos themselves. We want more people to see them. The more people see them, the less people will be scammed in the market. The more they will know that they have to learn, and the more they will know that the only way that one guy wrote me, I don't know if you're in here, I'm not trying to use your name, I'm just trying to say, he said, sir, can you please teach me the tricks in Forex? And I was like, yes, there is one trick in Forex. It's called knowledge, right? Get the knowledge. That's all the trick you need. If you get the knowledge, you'll definitely make money, right? There is no specific 2-hour trading window. It depends on which pattern you're looking and when that pattern is about to break. It could break during the Asian session. It could break during the New York session. It could break during the London session. It could break out of those sessions in a very quiet session, right? So you just have to look for specific patterns. You have to look for the setup and be ready to trade it. Right? That's about it. There's no amazing time. You see, these are myths in the market that, you know, oh, the 2-hour between London and New York is the best time because there's more volatility in there. We sit in that time and nothing happened. I sit in my computer from London to New York and nothing happened. London open, New York happened, and nothing happened. The chart is just consolidating. And if it's in consolidation, it will continue to consolidate for 3 days. During all the London and the New York session, it will still consolidate. Right? That's the thing about it, is that it doesn't matter. It's not about the time they will break. It's about, is the pattern complete and ready to go, right? Do you use MACD all the time? For trading, no. We use the MACD for different purposes, not for trading. But we use it. It's there all the time. Right? But it has nothing to do with trade setups. Just so you know. Right? So, okay, guys. Thank you for coming. Please help share it. And I will see all of you next week. I'll see my traders tomorrow. Take care. And thank you to everybody on YouTube. See you too. You can help share the videos as well. Take care. Bye-bye.